Good morning and welcome to Paul's Corner of the Garden. I love this little corner, it gets all the early morning sun, and it is quite early at the minute. But the birds are out, the sun's up, and the greens everywhere are vibrant today. They're absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favourite plants. The easiest thing to grow in the world, cosmos. You put it in, it grows, and you get these stunning plants about this big with these awesome flowers that just keep going and going. I put them in everywhere. Now, I've been contacted by someone who asked me, what can you do if all you have around the side of your house is a path, and then they've got gravel and a carport? Well, around the side of my house, I've got a path as well. It's about this wide. I can't really block it because I've got to be able to get the wheelie bins in and out every Thursday, every second Thursday now. And it's paving slabs on the bottom, it's a path, so I can't even bury down into the ground. But you know, I still thought with a bit of creativity and a couple of old planks, I might be able to grow something there. Now, for the last 3 years I have, and I'm getting a really healthy crop growing along the side of there. You want to know what I'm growing? Come around and have a look and I'll show you what I do round the corner. And remember, if I can do this, you can do it. Give it a go. You caught me just tidying up a little bit here, something that I built a couple of years ago that I just wanted to show you. I had this little space along the side of the house. I've got the greenhouse on this side and a little, literally 3 feet wide area that I can just get a wheelbarrow through or the wheelie bins on a Thursday. But I wanted to see if I could grow anything in here. And I thought that although I don't have very much space width-wise to grow anything, I mean, I can't put the barrels here because they stick out too far, but I do have height. And I've got a wall here. So I wondered about growing beans, runner beans up the wall. Now, the wall is south-facing. Gets a lot of sunshine during the day. It's afternoon now, quite late on, so you can still see the sun's here, but it's shaded on this side. So I realised that I didn't have much width, but I have got height. So I built a very simple container. I mean, it literally is. It's 4 bits of decking nailed together is what it really is. It's nothing special. But I don't know if you can see it. It runs about 2.5 metres along here. And what I do is I fill it up each year with a bit of compost and a bit of dung, and I refresh it, and I simply replant the beans from the plant that was here the previous year. I kept some, keep them dried, show you them in a minute. And as long as I keep this moist down here, the beans do incredibly well, like really well. They're sheltered from the wind. It's like a little heat trap back here because the sun beats down on here and reflects backwards and forwards off the glass, so it gets very warm. So I tend to grow French runner beans up here. I did do the big English runners at one time, but they went stringy really quickly. I mean, they grew like that, but they went stringy very quickly, whereas the French beans, I don't normally eat them in their pods. I normally wait till they've matured. Then I let them dry on the pods and then harvest them for the winter. And I put them in soups and stews and curries. I make spicy pate from them. All you got to do is kind of pop them in some water overnight. They rehydrate and then you cook with them the next day, and they're marvellous. They're first class. Best of all, they're dead cheap as well. Now, if you haven't got a packet of these things, you can actually go to the supermarket and you can buy them like little bags of dried beans, you know, and they're French beans. You want the ones, I think sometimes they call them cannelloni beans, is it, as well, little white ones? They're the ones you want. But any dried beans that you get, you can grow them, you know, and you can eat them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to clear this soil out of here. And I may add, this is absolutely beautiful stuff, because this will be year 3. The same stuff goes in each year. All I do is I pull it out, chuck it in a barrow, add a bit of horse dung to it or a bit of chicken poo pellets, and then I put it back in again and I plant the beans in it straight away. Now what I'll do is I'll actually plant the seed beans in here, and that gives them a couple of weeks to start to come through. But I've also got some in the greenhouse coming on, so as soon as they get to a few inches tall, which will be about a week or two before these come through, I'll plant them out here as well. Now, you'll see in all the books, they say, 18 inches apart between the beans. I never do that. I fill every little space up that I can get the beans into, both the ones in the ground and the ones in the compost and the plants themselves, so that I get an absolutely splendid wall of beans. Now, to help them grow, I don't bother with canes and all the rest. I get a big old pea net and I put a couple of hooks up along the top and I hang it on there and I tie it up on the bottom of here. So the beans, as they grow up, fan out and they go right across the net all the way over. As long as I keep this fed and watered, the beans do really, really well. But because there'll be a lot of plants in here, probably about 20 odd in total, they will drink the moisture out of this soil quite quickly, so I've got to keep my eye on it. Now, in addition to the beans, which are grown up the wall, I also sometimes I stick a few lettuces in as well, and then they grow in the bottom quite quickly. I might put some radishes in there too. I have even tried kohlrabi in them. They didn't do very well. So anyway, I'll get on with this. You keep your eye on it, and we'll come back when I start planting the beans in, and I'll show you what it looks like. So as I said, I just open up a little bit of a furrow with my hands. Just as easy as that. I just scrape it along. If you don't want to use your hands, well, you use a trowel or a stick or a dibber or something or other. And then take a few of these beans and literally pop one in every 6 inches. Now I'm putting them in quite close, probably about every 3 to 6 inches going in, because I'm allowing for some of these not to grow. Now remember, I'm also going to put some plants in too, so I don't want to cram too many of these in. Now if you cover them over, there you go. And it is as easy as that. Now I'll give that a good drink later as well. And I've already got my stick on the other trough. So that's it. Now it might be that you think, I can't drill into that wall, it's not my house, I'll not get away with it. Well, don't panic, don't panic. What I've done is, you see how here I've kept the wood a little bit higher? Well, all I do is, I get a couple of canes, and you can literally put them in there, hard up against that wood, and with a bit of string, a bit of wire, or a couple of zip ties, you just tie it to that. So that's not going anywhere. And you hang your net on there. If you haven't got any net, don't panic. Get some string, bit of old string strung between these. Take the string though right down to the soil at the bottom, because those first beans are quite delicate and you need to encourage them to start to climb. If they're kind of blown about in the wind or looking a bit lost, they're like, oh, I'm not going to grow. But you put some string there, and the minute they touch it, they go, well, that feels nice, and up they go and they grow away. Now remember, these things grow 2 meters tall. If you don't want them to grow that tall, it's not a problem. Stop them off where you do want them to grow by nipping out the grow bud. Or let it grow until it hangs above it, then simply bend it down and wrap it around the string. It'll just follow that string wherever you want it to go. Keep it watered, keep it fed, pick them when they're nice and green, or leave some on the vine for next year. Let them dry out in the wind, pop it in a nice cold jar and keep them in a cool place, or better still, put them in a hot place. A nice big pot full of curry. Hey you two, I'm just popping off for a cup of tea now. Now if the garden fairies were to turn up and hang that net for me, do you know what? I wouldn't be upset. So here you are, you can see that the net is now up in place. The light's not very good at the minute. The trough's in place, and I'm also getting a bit of old pipe here. It's a bit of old sewer pipe, the plastic stuff. And I've drilled holes in it and I've filled it full of compost. And then I plan to put some French dwarf beans in here. So the idea is these will grow up and like hang over, and then at the bottom the runner beans will climb all the way up. So you can see, I hope you can see, Billy and Betty are keeping an eye on it. So I should be able to get really 3 levels of growing, because I'll have soft leaves in the bottom, lettuces or chards in the bottom, maybe spinach, and then I'll have dwarf French beans, and then up here I'll have climbing French beans. So turn around here and get a bit of sunshine on my gorgeous good looks. So I hope you can see that with a little bit of creativity and a few nails and a bit of old wood, you could knock up a similar little trough like that. It's a simple container to make. Fill it full of your compost and then get your seeds in. Now, I know you might be sitting there thinking, but I need to know this and I need to know that. You don't need to know anything. You just need to make something that will hold soil. If you can't make a trough like that, go get some wooden boxes, or if you've got an old sideboard, you've got the drawers, take the drawers out, use them, fill them full of compost, get your bean seeds in them, water them and watch them grow.